Hi guys, Aceface back with another video for Twisted Dice, and I'm excited Tyranid player today because we've got some new hot news straight from Games Workshop themselves about some new Tyranid content, and I cannot be hyped enough. So I'm going to share you my thoughts and what we've seen in this video today. But before we get started, guys, could you do me a big favour? Hit that subscribe button. It helps us out absolutely tons as we get to our next milestone of 15,000 subscribers. You guys can really help with that. And everyone that has already done that, we truly appreciate it. So thanks very much. And while you're at it, if you can give us a big thumbs up, just helps those YouTube analytics, spreads the love around and gets more people to see the cool channel and the stuff we're doing. So thanks very much. And what I would love to hear is your comments on the subject today, which is the new GW publication coming out soon that will potentially give us some more Tyranid love. So let's jump into this video and talk a little bit about what we have seen, because it is very exciting. So this Saturday just gone, just a couple of days ago, we had the next Games Workshop preview, which showed us loads of cool stuff, and I cannot tell you how excited I am with all those cool new Orc units. And Darren on the channel is going mental. So if you do like Orcs, it's the place to be, because we've got so much Orc content coming for you. But what it also showed is the next campaign book coming. So at the moment we've got the Book of Fire, I believe, and that is due out this week. You'll see all those juicy rules and all that stuff in action as we get Be'lakor on the table, taking names and destroying some Imperium. So that's to come, so hold fast. But we've had that book, that's coming out. The next book on the timeline is, I think it is called Octavia. So Warzone Octavia, I think. And what this is a new publication that will give us some narrative missions, some new fluff and content, flushing out the amazing rich narrative that we've got within 9th edition. But what it will also give us is some new juicy rules. But let me break down what we've heard about, because I want to tell you about a little bit about the kind of the backdrop, because they didn't give us tons of information, but what they did give us is a bit of a backdrop, and that is exciting. So what this Octavia is, you know, there is already narrative there, so this is not new, they've not completely made it up, but obviously this is just flushed out. So this is a system, and what the Imperium have done is they have taken two of their ancient foes and tried to draw them together to try and destroy them both at the same time by their infighting, killing each other off, making themselves weak. The Imperium can then kill them. That gets rid of two nasty threats. And those threats are the forces of Leviathan, you know, the almighty menace that is creeping into the galaxy, as well as a very strong wall of Orcs that is building momentum as it crashes through and starts to, you know, get bigger and stronger, as Orcs love to do, as they fight and, you know, just get very excited with battle. So they've put these two together, hoping that they would basically kill each other. But what they just didn't take into account is both of these forces kind of love war, because what they kind of do is they get stronger as that war goes on. So what's happened is the Tyranids are eating the Orcs, becoming stronger because they are consuming their biomass, and they're also taking on the, you know, while they do that, they take on the intelligence of the Orcs. You say that's a silly thing, but actually their kind of hunger for fighting, you know, and their kind of, you know, their skill at fighting, the Tyranids are kind of absorbing that and learning that to make them meaner, more, you know, bigger and stronger, and learning all those kind of juicy kind of tactical things that the Orcs are bringing to the battle. Whilst the Orcs, obviously they love fighting, and when they kill things and they win, they get bigger and stronger. So both these forces are growing in power and not getting smaller in power. So the Imperium is starting to worry, because actually what's going to happen soon is one of these two is going to break out and, you know, probably, you know, overcome the other, and then absolutely go on a rampage because they're going to be so much stronger than they were at the beginning. Or they could both potentially just, you know, just go a different direction, and, you know, they actually become stronger in the battles that they've gone through. So the Imperium are super scared and super worried, so they're having to get involved, and that is the backdrop for this particular book. So a really amazing, cool narrative, and you'll be able to play missions and stuff like that involved in that, which is cool, super cool. And I cannot wait to see those cool narrative stories showing out on the battlefield. So something definitely to get really pumped about if you're into that kind of narrative driven kind of mission content. And the missions and the books we've had so far are amazing for that. They're just so well written for bringing that kind of richness onto the battlefield. But what the really exciting thing is Tyranid content. And that's what you're here for today, guys. So let's talk a bit about that. Now, they didn't talk about Tyranid content in that video, but what I will do want to say is there are Tyranids on the goddamn front. So that's exciting in itself. And I have heard now from several very, very good sources that there is definitely Tyranid rules in that book. So a lot of people are like, well, they're not coming in this book. They are. You're going to get Tyranid rules in this book. So that's exciting. You know, I've heard that from a very reliable source. A source is multiples. So really good there. And what I'm also hearing is I'm hearing these rules are really juicy. I'm hearing these rules potentially pretty strong. So that's fantastic news, because that's just what we need right now. So, you know, what that will look like, I do not have the details, but as I do get those, I will share you the rumours and the information that I get. Of course, I will not name names, I will not tell you where I get that information from, but what we will try and do is break to you some of the juicy tidbits that we hear in the rumour mill, just to get your juices flowing and get you excited about what's to come. So, we are hearing that the rules are good, so that's great. Now, how will those rules work out? What will they be like? So let's just do some wild speculation, because that's cool and fun, right? So what we know first of all is it's Leviathan. What we also know is we can look at the missions from before. So we can look at the army builds. We can look at how the different rules have dropped in the previous books. So what we know is what we get is these armies of renown, which is kind of the new thing that Games Workshop love, which is basically a build with restrictions that gives you big benefits. So they're very, very narrative driven, but there's still some juicy ways to make these work competitively. So what you can understand is what this will probably be is it generally takes the strength of a part of a faction. So we think about, so the Cult of Strife, that or what it did was it took the skills of that kind of cult and escalate them, make them stronger, make them work better. So what you can think is Leviathan. How does Leviathan work? Leviathan's a very kind of synaptic kind of high fleet. It also has loads of variety because it's so numerous in number. So you can think that potentially synaptic creatures will be very, very key. Maybe they will give you additional buffs with those restrictions. So it will say you can only take certain units, but if you take them, synaptic creatures are going to do X, Y, and Z. So I would expect some additional buffs. Maybe it makes us tougher. Maybe it makes us better in combat. Maybe it makes us more resilient. Maybe it makes us faster. But expect maybe synapse to give us additional buffs that will make the army better with some caveat restrictions. So, potentially being you need a synapse creature for every 5 non-synapse creatures. Whatever it might be, expect some restrictions. But what those restrictions will give you is potentially some really juicy rules that you can already stack with some of the other rules you've already got. So that will be really, really cool. So I would see these rules as just being a real benefit to the army, and hopefully we get enough with potentially some juicy stratagems to make the army a little bit fresher, to give us some more life there, which is really, really cool. But the other thing that I really want to talk to you about before we kind of conclude this video is what also seems to be the pattern is when these books are around, either before, after, around the time, you also get the codexes for these armies. Just look at what we've had so far. Death Guard in one of them got a new book. Jakari in there got a new book. Admech in one of them got a new book. Orcs, we know the codex is coming. The list kind of goes on. Sisters in there got a new book. There's pretty much no exceptions. The only one potentially that we've not seen any hard evidence of a solid book is Demons, if you like, with Be'lakor. But we have got a new model, and it's a bit of a different spin because obviously it's a kind of character rather than kind of a particular army. It's chaos as such. So maybe not quite the same, but we do know that there is a correlation between the two. So potentially we should see Tyranids pretty soon. which is very, very exciting. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So I think it's all good stuff. And the more I get more information, I will share it with you guys, and I'll keep you in the loop as much as I can. But thank you very much for watching this video. If you have hung around this long, really do consider potentially becoming a patron and jumping onto our Discord server. So all the details and stuff are down below. Those guys are absolutely mega bosses, and they help us kind of tick on and keep going. And we've got loads more juicy plans to kind of give them more beneficial stuff. So loads of cool stuff there. And make sure you check our battle reports out. They're getting better and better. We have some of the best tech in the in the industry. And our quality is really up there. So if you haven't watched a battle report recently, jump back on and watch one of our recent battle reports. I really highly recommend it. But anyway, guys, that's enough of me chatting. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.